All right. Welcome back to Crash Course. This time we are going to be talking about how to make and find and maintain godly friendships. And specifically, where you're concerned when you're coming right out of high school and going into your 20s, because that's kind of the time period that you've just experienced. But coming out of high school, it can be different trying to have friendships and make friends outside of that. I see you every day. You know, we're together because we live in close proximity to this place or whatever. So we're here with Pastor Christian, and he's going to be helping us today, kind of giving us some good nuggets of wisdom. So appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. So we'll just get right up into it. You know, if as most people in our group know, we don't hold back. We just dive right in.
Go.
So
I'm ready.
You know, we probably won't start with any easy questions, but
That's fine.
So what was the biggest challenge for you in making new friends after you graduated from high school?
So I graduated in 2021. And so I've had 4 years, almost coming up 5 years now out of high school. And I would like to say that I was a pretty good friend in high school. I had a lot of friends. I tried my best to pick from each kind of groups. I was student body president for a long time. And so I was just going to speak to people. But the thing that kind of opened my eyes after high school was that as much time and much, you know, I was in that environment and much time as I invested in those people, unfortunately, almost 85% of those friends I don't keep after high school. And it's because of that environment that, you know, you see them every day, like you said. And once you graduate and that is kind of taken out from under you, there's really no motivation really for those people to continue to seek after you and seek after your friendship. And that was really difficult for me because I'm such a relational person. And so in my mind, I said, well, all these friendships that I poured into for so long, like they're not existing anymore. And so that was difficult for me to understand. But knowing that there's more people out there, like it's okay to have a new beginning. It's okay to have a new start because you are constantly evolving and changing into a better person than you were a year ago. And so knowing that there are people out there that the Lord has for me set already to be friends with, you just have to take the next step on whatever that looks like. And my biggest thing, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, is my biggest fear was the fear of the unknown. Not knowing what was going to be next, not knowing what the next thing was going to look like, if I could manipulate the situation to make it better for me. Like, I don't know the systems. Anything that I could think about or worry about, I was going to think about it or worry about it. And in the searching for friendships, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that, you can't really do that. You have to kind of walk into it a little bit blindly, a little bit with faith, and just see what's out there, see who's out there to connect with, and just go for it.
Well, you kind of had a ending of high school that was kind of wild too, because that was the pandemic started, and you know you're in a different environment already from when you started, and knowing, like you said, you had a system that you probably had worked within, like that middle school, high school system where you knew what to expect. And then you go into the pandemic and everything changes.
Completely different.
And then all of a sudden you're out of high school. And those people are gone. And now you have a bunch of acquaintances and maybe a handful of friends. So where did you end up after that period of time when that 85% kind of fell off? Where did you end up noticing that your friends stuck around? Like which ones? And why do you think that those particular ones stuck? And then where did you find yourself finding new friends?
So here's another thing. I didn't even think about COVID. Nobody remembers COVID anymore. But the biggest thing with COVID is that for a solid year and a half, almost, everyone was virtual.
Yeah.
Everyone was online. And what I believe that did was desensitize us to human contact.
Right.
I think it completely shattered a lot of people's perception of what communication is. And I think we're still regrowing that as a society, unfortunately. That's why you see so many scan your own groceries at Walmart, is because people don't like to talk to people anymore. But I think actively regrowing that is so important. And so it was very difficult, even for me, to step back out and to be friends face to face with people after the pandemic. But I'm sure statistics show that during the pandemic and even after, that social anxiety and depression and all these things that happen when you're isolated like that, we're at an all-time high. And I think the only thing, no, not the only thing, but one of the main things that combats that is that social interaction, putting yourself out there. And because the word says in Genesis that man was not created to be alone. Now that's of course for marriage, but I believe that the Lord has hardwired us as humans instinctively that we're not meant to be by ourselves, either relationally or in marriage or anything like that. And so I think it heals us to be with somebody. Now, where I found my high school friends leaving, there were a couple that stuck around, and it was just a small circle of that. But it happened to be the friends that I was actively pursuing Jesus with. They are the ones that were united with me in my mind. We had the same goal. We were going after the same thing. And so we began to hunger after each other's presence as we hungered after his presence more. And so we got plugged into here. Actually, I started plugging into GWC during the pandemic. And so it kind of just streamlined everything, because as I grew closer to my friends that I already had, it opened up doors to a plethora of other friends that I now have and have built relationships with. And so making sure that the friends, especially as a Christian, when you're looking for friends, make sure that you are one in mind. You're going after the same things. It's going to give you common ground, but also make sure there are still differences between all of you, because you don't want to have a friendship or a group of friends that is cookie cutter. It's going to get boring. It's going to get bland. You're not going to want to gain any more friends, right? Because that you're satisfied with basically yourself in the mirror again. And so making sure that you are similar in what you're going after, but also having differences, and it's gonna grow you as you grow each other.
Yeah, I think you really said a lot. In, obviously you want to have common interests, but for us, that common interest that builds us up, that spurs us on, to focus on the Lord, right, is finding people who are like-minded that are going to encourage you in that. There's so much in this world that's going to bring you down.
Absolutely.
If your friend group are people that are just not pouring properly into you, it's going to be incredibly hard. So I think that is a huge point. And to that, kind of speaks to the next question. What do you wish that you would have known at 18 about your friendships that you know now that you think would have just been very helpful?
I think number one is that invest in the friendships that you know are going to last. Invest in those friendships that are drawing you closer to the Lord, and pour into that. It's okay to go to the parties and do the things, but making sure that you are putting first what you know is going to help you grow. I think it's peak at what we need to be doing. But also that even though these are still godly friendships, what I wanted to know at 18 was that there are going to come some hard times in friendships. I think ever since I've had a group of godly friends that are pouring into me and are, helping me grow, it's probably been the hardest because godly friendships must be held to a higher standard than a worldly friendship. These are the people that are going to hold you accountable and call you out, and you're going to be put in situations where your flesh is going to do one thing, but your friends are going to hold you accountable to do the right thing.
Right.
And so it's really tough because your spirit is saying one thing, your flesh is doing another, and you have to find the balance in that. And what are you going to choose to do?
Yeah.
Are you going to choose to walk the path of righteousness with your friends, or are you going to give up because it's too hard?
Yeah.
But you have to see past that and see that these people were divinely placed in your life so that you can not become a better person than they are, but become a better version of yourself.
Right.
So I wish I would have known to invest more in my friendships and know that it's not always easy, but it is so worth it.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good, because if you have people that are just telling you what you want to hear,
exactly,
do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's going to be, that's a difficult friendship.
It is. Yeah.
You might think it's all fun and games, but one day you're going to look back and be like, man,
exactly,
like they really weren't a good friend.
Right. Yeah.
And so, yeah. So on the flip side of that,
yeah,
what would you tell somebody, excuse me, who is in that stage of life, but they're feeling really lonely? Like maybe their friend group has gone on,
yeah,
or they are in a new season in their life where maybe they hadn't been following the Lord, and they, are now at a place where they're following the Lord and they're trying to find good, godly friends, but they're really lonely. Like,
yeah,
what's some good advice to like figure out how to go about moving forward from that?
Yeah. I have been in that place, between COVID and high school. I had my friends, but I still was searching for more, But what I have found out is that before you ever make friends with another person, you have to become a best friend to the one who wants to be your friend always, and that's Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Holy Spirit is going to give you the blueprints on how to be a friend. And I've spoken about this in different demographics, like with fathers. I've told fathers, I said, before you are ever a great father, you must first be a great son in relation to Jesus. If you want to be a great mother, you must first be a great daughter. If you want to be a great friend, you have to be a best friend to the one who's going to teach you how to be a best friend. And all throughout the Bible does Jesus give us the blueprint of what friendship looks like. You want to learn how to be faithful. You want to learn how to be dependable. You want to learn how to be righteous and hold somebody accountable. Look at Jesus.
Yeah.
And having those same values and characteristics in the way that we find a friend and be a good friend is the same thing that's going to draw people to us to be a friend. Because if you have a nasty attitude or you're not doing the right things, people are not going to want to be your friend.
That's right.
Unfortunately, hate to pop your bubble, but it's not. It doesn't work like that. But it really pays to show the Holy Spirit through friendship, and go off of His leading rather than what we want. Essentially, it's a huge game changer.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Thinking about your friendships and kind of what you've experienced, you mentioned the people that you found were friendships that kind of lasted were the people that were following after Jesus, and you were pursuing the same things. How have you seen those friendships change from 18 to now?
Yeah.
Like in the Lord, like how have you seen them grow? Have you, grown apart or grown closer? What have you seen during that time period with those friends?
As time goes, age comes, and with age comes different responsibilities. I don't have the same responsibilities as I did as I was 18, unfortunately. I would love to just worry about having to put gas in my car.
Right. That'd be nice, right?
But that's just not how it is. And things come and go, responsibilities come and go. And so we get busy. And what I've come to realize is that you can't be with your friends all the time.
Yeah.
as much as I love to be with my friends, I love hanging out with my friends, I love spending time, and I love going after the Lord with my friends. But at 18, we were able to do that all the time. We would, we can do whatever we want. But as we grow older, we just can't do that. And so using the time that you have when you're between 18, 19, 20, and any time you have, be together, go after the Lord, seek Him, worship together, go to people's houses and worship, do what you can to go after the Lord, because there's going to be a time where you can't do that together. Yeah. But what I believe has really helped our friendships, mine essentially, is to know that we spent that time together and we've strengthened each other in that time, that we can be standalone people and still go after the Lord and still have incredible experiences by ourselves because we learned how to do it together when it might have been tough. Right. And so using that time and using it effectively, not wasting it, not just doing whatever, but, sitting down and say, I want to grow with you guys before we don't have a chance to. And it's going to build that relationship. It's going to build the relationship with the Lord, but it's also going to build you up to be a stronger person than you were before those friends. Yeah. And not to say that you want to get everything out of something that you can, but if it's given to you as a gift, you better use it or it's going to be taken away if you don't. Right. So I look at every friend as a gift that is continuously giving whatever the Lord wants to do through them. And just receive it, because it's beautiful when you get to live life with a person and live life with a group of people and actually cherish it. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So just as we kind of wind down this time, is there anything that you feel like you just really want to leave and impress upon that age group that we haven't talked about, that you feel like would be just a really good nugget to leave?
Yeah. I didn't say this before when we were talking about how to effectively make a friend. So number one, talk to people. Talk to people. You cannot make a friend unless you learn how to communicate with people effectively. Yeah. Like I said, I think COVID did a number on our communication skills, and that's okay to have a hard time with that, but don't stay in that hard time. Yeah. Put yourself out there, be a good person, be a friend, find common ground with people, and just communicate. Even if it's, I really like your outfit, or I really like those shoes, or where did you get that Bible? I really like that. Anything like that to start in the community that you're in, to find those friends and find common ground. Do it, because you're never going to regret speaking to a person. Yeah. Building those relationships. And so make sure you're plugged into a church or a community or some kind of gathering. Like I said, I was scared of the unknown, and so I would never really do it, but I pushed myself finally to do it, because I left a church to come to a church where I had people. Yeah. And so big changes end up with big things coming from them. So if you've got to do a big thing, do a big thing, because something else bigger and greater is coming. And so talk to people, of course. But the main thing I want to leave with is to make sure you always have 3 groups of friends around you. Of course, number one is the group of friends that are around you at all times. And this is a blueprint that the Lord kind of revealed to me through Jesus' walk, is that Jesus always had 3 groups of friends. He always had his disciples, his people around him. Those are the people that are going to walk with you, that are going to grow with you, that are going to learn with you, that you're going to spend the most time with, that you want to always keep around. And then he even had a smaller circle of 3 other ones that he held closer than any other. So make sure you have your circle, but also make sure you have your inner circle that is really getting into the nitty-gritty with you. So that's number one, people around you. Number 2, the friends that are walking ahead of you. Jesus always had the covering of his Father, which I believe was probably his greatest friend. Making sure that you are constantly having someone pour into you as a friend. I look up to so many people. I look up to you and Miss Melissa. You guys are incredible. Miss Anicia Lee, I think y'all have talked to her before. Our pastors, Pastor Danny and Pastor Michael, my good friends, Christina and LaHan Watts. Like, these are the people that are pouring into me that I count as friends, that are constantly giving me these nuggets of wisdom. Because you might not have walked this path. I have not walked this path before, but I know somebody else has. And so pulling from that wisdom that the Lord has already brought them through,
Right.
And using that to your benefit, because that's Paul talks about that. We're going to walk through something so that we can bring somebody else up.
Yeah.
So making sure that you have a friend in front of you that is always walking in front of you and pulling you along. And then number 3, making sure that you have someone that you're pulling behind you.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like. For me, it looks like kids ministry.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful and blessed to have an opportunity to pour into somebody and these children that are coming up, because I have walked in where they're walking at. And so using what the Lord has brought me through to be able to lead them and guide them through things if they may have questions or something, but making sure you're pouring into them, and it keeps you motivated to continue to be a good friend, to continue to be a person founded in what you know, because if you don't have a purpose, you'll lose your pulse spiritually. And so it gives you motive, it gives you purpose, and it gives you a reason to keep going. Because if you stop, they're going to stop as well, because they're looking up to you. So making sure you have people around you, making sure you have someone pouring into you above you, and making sure that you're bringing someone along with you is so important to your growth, and so you don't plateau in this life. You don't just cruise along.
Right.
So it is so important, and it's really changed the way I look at things.
That's really good. So, being discipled and being discipling someone else.
Absolutely.
And continuing that. So that is great, man. That's great advice. Yeah. I like it.
Thank you.
Great one to end on.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciate you being here, man. This has been really good. A lot of good information.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming and pouring into others like you do all the time.
Thank you.
But specifically in this setting today. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.